All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the routine weekly briefing for Central North Carolina, covering the period from today, Monday, October 28th, until Sunday, November 3rd. All right, so first looking at the upcoming weather pattern for Central North Carolina. Overall, it looks like a very quiet week across the area. Under the influence of high pressure. We have maybe some patchy light rain that will be possible over eastern areas tomorrow morning. I think mostly across the southeast, around Fayetteville, Clinton, there could be some light rain or drizzle, maybe spreading north later in the morning. But it would be very light and low impact, if anything. And that's really the only real precipitation chances that we have for the next 7 days at this time. A cold front does look to move through our region late Friday or early Saturday, but at this time it looks to be dry. The model guidance, for the most part, even the absolute wettest ensemble guidance is only has very minimal rain, if anything. So at this time we're not really expecting any rain with it. As far as temperatures go, we're going to have a increasing trend through the week. Today we'll have highs in the upper 60s to low 70s, which is near normal, and lows tonight generally in the mid to upper 40s. And then through the week, we gradually warm up, and eventually by the end of the week, we reach the upper 70s to low 80s. And then behind that cold front, we cool back down to the upper 60s to mid 70s for this weekend, which is still slightly above normal. So no like really cool air on the horizon. Looking at accumulated rainfall forecasts from the Weather Prediction Center, again, very minimal, if anything. You can see that tomorrow, this would be tomorrow morning, most likely there's a little bit showing up, maybe a few hundredths of an inch across our far southeastern areas near the South Carolina border. That's where any rain would be most likely to fall, but it could even be a little bit north of there, very light amounts, if anything. With this lack of rainfall, not expecting any flash flooding, of course, for the next few days, and not expecting any severe weather either for the next week. The experimental graphical hazardous weather outlook is fortunately no risk for any of the types of weather that we have here. So that's good news. And looking at the tropics, there is one area of low pressure across the southwestern southern Caribbean Sea, and that may develop into a tropical depression late this week or this weekend. It's going to slowly drift north or northeast, it looks like. No impact for our area with this, even if it does develop. And besides that, the Atlantic looks very quiet for the next week. We are starting to wind down now. The hurricane season for the Atlantic goes for another month until November 30th. All right, looking at beyond the 7 days into the 8 to 14 day outlook from the Climate Prediction Center, you can see that the entire southeast and mid-Atlantic is in a greater chance of above normal temperatures, 50 to 60% chance. And just for reference, normal highs this time of year are in the mid to upper 60s and lows in the low to mid 40s. So starting to get on the chilly side, but with we're most likely going to be seeing above normal temperatures during that period. And then equal chances of above and below normal precipitation across the area during that period. So just to summarize here, high pressure will bring mainly quiet weather from now through the weekend. Really the only chance of rain looks to be across mostly the Sandhills and southern coastal plain, starting around daybreak tomorrow morning and possibly spreading north later on in the morning. Very light amounts, if anything. Temperatures will warm through the week from upper 60s to low 70s today into upper 70s to low 80s by Thursday and Friday. And then behind what looks to be a dry cold front on Friday night, highs cool back down to the upper 60s to mid 70s this weekend. So fortunately, it looks like your Halloween plans won't be affected by the weather, which is good news. It'll just be quite warm. So maybe a little uncomfortable for some of those costumes, but otherwise not expecting any rain. And then the only real hazard and impact could just be some morning fog each day through Thursday. And tomorrow morning, that looks to be most likely in the northern coastal plain, similar to where it occurred this morning, like around Rocky Mount, those areas. And then Wednesday and Thursday mornings, again, looks like most likely to be in the east as we start to get some more moist southeasterly low-level flow. All right, that concludes the weekly briefing. Does anyone have any questions?